Alright, what's up everybody, it's Sam from Andrade. Remain bet. In this video we're doing my card predictions for UFC on ABC 3, Ortega versus Rodriguez. As always, let's go through the entire, the previous card results, then onto the breakdowns and then all the picks and the bets. And if you wish to support the channel, stick until the end, I'll show you how. Alright, so let's review the last card. So last card I risked 6.5 units, came back only 1.5, so I lost nearly 5 units, so it's quite a significant loss here. Some things that I was hoping that happened didn't, such as I was quite confident on Jung, took an extra step there, but he got finished, and also RDA, I was thinking that he would win that fight. Basically he fought hard, but Fiziev showed his toughness and came on top, so I guess these things happen. So I'll be trying again to get back on things. Let's hope that this card gonna get some profits in. So between Dalsha Lungiambula and Puna Soriano, I'm picking Puna but betting Dalsha. Amanda Lemos and Michelle Watterson, I'm picking Lemos but betting Watterson. 1 unit at plus 275, I got the bet in. So Islamalikov and Li Jingliang, picking Salikov but not betting. Brian Ortega and Jay Rodriguez. Picking Ortega and betting Rodriguez, Dustin Jacoby and Dawoon Jung. I'm picking and betting Jung. So Mudarji and Matt Chanel. I'm picking Mudarji but not betting. Shane Burgos and Charles Jourdain. I think I'm picking Burgos and betting Jourdain. This is happening a lot. That's correct. So this is happening a lot. Stick into the breakdowns if you want to know why. And Misha Tate and Lauren Murphy. I'm picking Tate but not betting. So basically, let's go through the fights that I have here. The rest of the card I'm going to be posting on Patreon. So far I haven't had the time to go through everything, but by the end of the week I will do. So if you wish to support the channel and join the Patreon, that's one of their advantages right there. So between Puna and Dalsha, guys, basically this is it's not that difficult to predict, right? I think we're gonna see Puna taking the front foot. He's aggressive here, right? So he likes to, basically get inside guys and throw the big bombs. He is also a very decent wrestler. Right, he times well his shots, pretty decent technique, as I was saying. The only thing here to me, and why I'm betting Dalsha, even though Dalsha, the man is a powerhouse. It's just ridiculous, how big and powerful he is as a middleweight. Problem that we have with Dalsha is obviously the technique. He doesn't have the best timing, doesn't have the best gameplay and execution. So why am I betting him? Basically because I don't like the price on Puna here. I think Puna, to me, he would make sense if you got him as like minus 200. I think minus 330, something against your Puna is too much, because he's not a technician, right? He's gonna try to close the gap. I do see some chance for Dalsha being able to crack with the powerful overhand and even take Puna down, even though Puna has the better wrestling. Dalsha is a powerhouse, right? So it's not impossible. Plus Dalsha now training a better camp in Sanford. So I don't know, guys. I'm giving myself here the benefit of the doubt what's gonna happen here. I do some chance for Dalsha Lungiambula cracking with some power shot, right? Being able also to hurt Puna and maybe even finish him. So quite tricky to bet, right? If you're not betting Dalsha, I think you should pass, in my opinion, just because of the price. But I'm taking an extra step here, just a small bet on Dalsha. Let's see what happens here, basically. Dustin Jacoby and Dawoon Jung. This is an interesting one. Good level fight. Two big kickboxers. Big guys are slightly different style. Jacoby is more like technical kickboxer. Dawoon Jung more like a heavy-oriented boxing with a good grappling background. So Dustin Jacoby, known for his kickboxing, like I said. He competed also in professional kickboxing. Good footwork, good shots. Right, fairly aggressive at times, can corral guys and tee off. Jung, more, even though Dustin can be aggressive at times, he actually has a good flow in the cage where he picks his shots when he has to, then he moves forward and becomes more aggressive when he has to. So why am I picking betting Jung here? Just because I think Jung gonna be a little bit more aggressive. I do see him being able to take the front foot more often than not. They are pretty much the same height and reach, but I do think Jung has a slight edge on the size department, on the power. So I'm favoring that just a little bit here. I think he's both of them gonna have their moments. Jacoby is a good kickboxer, but Jung is a good boxer, and he's gonna be on Dustin Jacoby's face, so he's gonna also land. Jacoby obviously good kickboxing, but in a fight, in an MMA fight, it's not easy to deal with a hard-hitting guy in front of you, right, with the small gloves and everything. So I think Jung gonna hit a little bit harder. I think he has a little bit more chances for the finish. That's why I think the bet makes sense on him, right? Even though I'm picking Jung by decision, if gonna be a finish, I would say it's from Jung's side. So Jacoby, if you like him, I don't blame you. He also has a technique. He can win just by scoring and blocking the bigger shots and landing a little bit cleaner. Not impossible. Actually, I have this as nearly a 50-50. So there's that too. I like the price on Jung a little bit too. Plus money, I got him at plus 120. So, but if you like Dustin Jacoby, it's not a bad idea to bet him by decision. I may do that myself to cover my bet on Jung, because I don't see much chance for a finish for Jacoby, whereas I think Jung has more chance for that. Shane Burgos and Charles Jourdain, another interesting one. Burgos known for his aggressiveness, his size, basically, and the volume, right? Heavy-oriented boxing, right? When he starts teeing off, he's dangerous. Plus, he has a decent clinch game, right? He doesn't shoot much in terms of takedowns, but I do like a little bit his clinch game. He obviously can use his size to his advantage. He's fighting Jourdain, who is a kickboxer by nature. He likes to hit and run. He times very well the kicks when guys are at the kicking range. He also is ready to swing. He's not afraid to throw down. He's not the biggest guy, but he's still young, only 26, so he still has the power of the use. He also has a very good, has very good, I click the wrong stuff here. Has very good calf kicks, which to me gives a decent advantage in this matchup, because Shane Burgos is not the best in checking kicks. Actually, he doesn't check much, but he does counter when people start kicking him. So there's that, right? He can get your face, and if you start trying to kick him, since he has such a big size and reach, he can also hit you back. So again, back and forth here, guys. I don't think that's easy to call. I do see Jourdain being able to have his moments in this fight, like timing good kicks, throwing a combination. Burgos, not the best defense, not bad, but not the best. He tends to block shots and take a little bit on his chin since he's so tough in there. So, like I was saying, back and forth here. I bet Jourdain at plus 155. Actually, I put in the spreadsheet plus 140 because now that's the price. I do still think there's some value on Jourdain, even though Burgos being more aggressive. Probably he has more chance to win a decision here. But let's see what's gonna happen here, guys. Jourdain also, he doesn't shoot much, even though his grappling game is not that bad, right? He has some submissions, wins over his record, especially by guillotine. I haven't seen much rather than some decent escapes and the guillotine, even though also Jourdain is not that difficult to take down. So yeah, man, I think this is also quite tricky to bet, but in the way I think it's dog or pass, and take a chance on Jourdain here. Miesha Tate and Lauren Murphy. This is also pretty easy to predict, but to bet not so much. Tate should come inside into close the gap on Lauren Murphy, be a little bit more aggressive, try to hit her a little bit on the feet and then shoot. The question here will be will Lauren Murphy be able to stuff the takedown, keep it standing where she can be competitive? Maybe she can. I think she has a decent takedown defense game. She also has decent escapes. The thing here, Miesha Tate's also coming down to as a flyweight, right? Which is interesting because I think she's going to be pretty strong there, but Lauren Murphy is also strong as a flyweight. So this is probably going to be Miesha Tate being more aggressive. I think she's going to win just based on aggression itself, because I don't basically see a finish for anybody. So Miesha throwing more volume, being able to take this to the ground more often. So I think the safest pick is Miesha by decision. Maybe I'm going to bet that line, Miesha Tate by decision at plus money. Probably 300 dog by decision also looks tempting to me, because again, not impossible that Murphy stuffs the takedowns, make it a kickboxing match and make about it, say it was a robbery, but who cares at the ending, right? If you're betting the and cashes, right? So that is this type of risk in here, right? I do think that Misha should on aggression, right, and takedowns, but again, not sure what's gonna happen here, right? So, but again, Misha Tate by decision, probably gonna be betting Misha by decision here. So Mudarji match now. Another interesting one here. I mean, Mudarji all the division. Mudarji much younger, 25. Nowadays, Chanel is 32. Mudarji basically, I don't see much flaws in his game. He's pretty good everywhere. I like this man's the size of this guy, right? He's 5'8", but super long, 72 inches, 73, right? Basically, excellent takedown defense, escapes, he reverses position, he's dangerous from his back. I don't see much of offensive wrestling game, but he basically doesn't need to, just because he's so tall, he can control the range, right? When guys shoot on him, he defends, he counters, so all of that, right? So Mudarji doesn't have many flaws. Matt Chanel, he's also pretty good everywhere. The main thing of Chanel is that nowadays he has been knocked out quite some times, right? He tends to like a technical fight on the outside. He's not gonna have it here, even though when he starts getting hit, he tends to brawl. And here it's quite dangerous in this matchup because he doesn't have the range and he doesn't have the chin, basically. I agree that Mudarji is the favorite here. To me, the odds are all fairly correct, even though I think the odds are beating Chanel a little bit more. But anyway, guys, I think I'm not going to bet Chanel here. Maybe Chanel by decision. I would bet that from plus 400, just because it's not impossible that Chanel actually lands some leg kicks and stay on the outside, slips and scores a little bit cleaner. Mudarji most certainly going to win a round. It's not going to be Chanel, winning 30-27, but also it's not, Mudarji could win the 30-27, could knock him out, but if Chanel can move the head, can counter, find his timing, use the calf kicks, it's also not impossible that he wins a 29-28 or even a split decision. So I don't know, man. I think the only bet that I would do here is Chanel by decision. Rather than that, I'm passing on this one. Muslim Salikov and Li Jingliang. So Muslim Salikov, a kickboxer, likes to be technical in there. He's at his best when he can time an overhand right, through a combination after that, especially when he can spin. Has such a great timing on spins, especially with the spinning back kick, really spinning back heel kick. So pretty good timing there, spinning wheel kicks too. So Lin Jiliang, known for his power, he likes to move forward, moving the head, feinting, and then finding some leg kicks or the boxing combination. Jiliang's experienced, so is Salikov. To be honest here, guys, if Lin Jiliang can push the pace hard, I think he would have the edge. Just it's not too much his style. He feints and likes to try to get inside and try to land heavier, but it's not that constant. And I do see Li Jiliang at times taking too long to get the fight started, right? He sort of feints in there and he kind of waits for the right shot, which is dangerous here because I think Muslim is more technical, yeah. And for Jiliang to win, he has to push the pace here, test Muslim Salikov's size, right? Because he's not the biggest welterweight, and his age also. I think he's now 38. So Jiliang has 4 years advantage being younger, right? And I think he has to push the pace to win here. He also has, I think, more chances for the knockout because Salikov can finish Li Jiliang if he finds a clean kick. But I do think if you're gonna account for aggressiveness and like simpler shots, let's say to land a right hand on the opponent, Li Jiliang has more chance for the finish. So it's tricky for me to bet this one. I was very tempted to bet Li here. Actually, I was tempted to bet Muslim because the style that Li has. But then I could see Li finding a clean shot, and I didn't want just to bet Muslim here, hoping that Li wouldn't basically land anything. So I think this is tricky. Also to bet Lee at plus 140, I also don't like much. I would like Lee maybe plus 170, something like this. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, if I would look at some prop here, maybe Li Jingliang by knockout or even by decision, I can put it here from plus 450. Just because a game of odds, guys, I think basically, yeah, if you like Muslim, maybe by decision, but I don't know, man, I don't think Muslim Islamalikov by decision going to be an interesting line. So many doubts in my head, as you guys can hear it. I think this one is going to be a total pass for me. Amanda Lemos and Michelle Watterson. It's an interesting one. I was discussing with some of the patrons from the Patreon there. I think this, what happens here? Lemos has the reach over Watterson. She has the power, and she's way more dangerous, right? But Michelle Watterson, she likes to stay on the outside. She likes to stay on the outside. She's not aggressive. She likes to time those side kicks and wait for the right moment. She does have a decent timing on the takedowns, right? And I do think she's going to try to use here on Lemos, sort of. She's going to try to stay on the outside kicking when Lemos tries to commit. She can duck under the shot and shoot. Try to take her back, even go for a finish there. But I think Lemos is going to be, for most of the time, be able to control the range. Plus, Lemos is not that easy to take down or hold down. She also has a decent submission defense game, even though she has been submitted before. I think that her submission defense game is decent. Even though Watterson, when she takes the back, she's good at the rear naked choke. She jumps very quickly to the back and snatches that right in very fast. It's not impossible that they finish each other, even though I actually was switching this one back and forth. I ended up picking Amanda Lemos by decision, right? But I do think that it, in my opinion, makes sense to bet Watterson here. Again, why? Because I think she has some chances to stay on the outside with the kicks, right? Lemos wouldn't wow anybody with volume, so she obviously has the power, but she could just basically land a big shot and just try to go in for the finish, but not being able, and then after she slows down. Or even if Amanda Lemos is not able to land a big shot, because Watterson wouldn't give her that many opportunities, because she's not that aggressive. Could be a slow-paced fight on the outside, whereas Watterson lands some kicks here and there and maybe takes her to the ground, right? So could be close, could be even those fights that split decision, right? You cannot maybe argue that Amanda Lemos won that fight. Could be a robbery for Watterson, all those type of things. So given all these things, all this context, right? I think Amanda Lemos would be like 60% favorite, which would give minus 170, right? And she's was minus 120, minus 400, sorry. I got Watterson plus 300 initially. So to me, it makes sense to bet Watterson. I would bet her by decision for plus 300. I got her on the money line for plus 300. It's not impossible that she gets a finish on Lemos, even though not likely. And I'm going to bet also Watterson a little bit more by decision on the prop line, the prop bet, okay? On the main event, Brian Ortega and Jair Rodriguez. This is obviously a high-level fight here. Both of them pretty well-rounded. Ortega, good boxer, likes to feint, to move the head, get inside, right, throw some big shots with the boxing. Sometimes use the jab, the 1-2, but I think he's more like a guy that tries to set up the right hand, basically, right? Use the 1-2 a little bit, and then he feints, and then he comes back with a bigger right hand. He's at his best when he can dominate the striking, because he's not that of a great wrestler, even though he's evolving that through the years. And nobody wants to take this guy down, because if you try to take Ortega down, there's a big chance that you're going to get finished, right? I don't think Rodriguez is going to shoot here at all, but I do see Ortega he'll try to take it to the ground eventually, right? Why? Because Rodriguez, he's an excellent kicker, but not too much of a great boxer, even though it's pretty respectable. Rodriguez is not no slouch in the boxing. In the boxing part, Ortega has the edge, but in the kicking game, definitely Rodriguez. Rodriguez is very difficult to get inside. He slams those kicks with those side kicks and head kicks. Plus, if you get too close, he will crack you with the right hand. And like I told you guys, he's not that bad. So we'll probably see Ortega trying to be aggressive here, trying to shoot. This will determine a lot. Can Rodriguez stuff Ortega's takedowns? I think he can, because Ortega, he's not the best wrestler. And Rodriguez will control the range, at least for most of the part, because of the kicks. But on the other hand, Rodriguez has some flaw in his game, and exactly the takedown defense, right? He has a good submission game from his back. Rodriguez does. He's a good grappler, but Ortega is better, especially from top, right? Ortega, actually, I think Ortega is more dangerous from his back than he's from top. But anyway, Ortega from top definitely has the edge here. So again, main question is, can Brian Ortega push him back and shoot? Probably he will be able to do this early on, where he's still fresh, when he has got more power and got more energy. But maybe after, from the second round, I do think Rodriguez has a little bit more chances to keep this standing and basically make it a kickboxing fight. All right? So this will do for this breakdown, guys. So as I told you guys, if you wish to support the channel, I have basically 2 tiers for you. For $10 US, you guys have early accesses and access to this material. So I put this material up early on. I will show you guys how that looks like. And for $50 is the ultimate support, whereas you guys have access to this spreadsheet and all the props that I'm taking. By the way, this is something that I have to account for here. Basically, only one of these props cashed, which was quite nice. It's a hybrid decision, but rather than that, I don't think anything else cashed here, right? So this one nearly cashed, right? I liked the price on this one. RDA, we almost went the distance, but didn't. So these things happens, even though I do have some cards where the props were pretty nicely here, right? So some of this here, I got a pretty nice profit, like over 1.7 units. So line by line, everything I'm doing for $50, and for $10 access to this material here. And obviously you guys can chat with me, ask your questions, and just to show you guys how it looks like, the early access that I mentioned. So such as this one I posted 3 days ago, basically, where the Waterson was still at plus 275. When I bet Jordan, it was still plus 150. So hopefully he cashes in at a better price. I also said about Rodriguez and Dolce at a better price too. And then also Jung, as soon as I got that fight, I also said that I was betting him for 0.85 units. Okay, so this is how it looks like, access to the material, and obviously you guys can chat with me. And like I said, told you guys, after I finish reviewing the rest of the fights, I will also add in Patreon all the other bets that I'm doing, such as I did in the previous posts. Okay, post ratings and all of those things. Again, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share with your friends. Consider supporting the channel, and I'll talk to you next time. This is Sam from Andrade. Remember, bet, bring the best, most consistent, and transparent betting strategy for you.